Um, so these thumbnails crack me up every time I have to make one. As you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun with that 3-second thumbnail photo shoot. Um, so how do you turn a failure into your next major win? Sounds easier said than done maybe to you right now, but by the end of this video, you're going to know how and what to do and what to think in order to totally kick butt in whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if you want, if it's a relationship, a job, career, financial, business, um, friendship, family problem, whatever it is. If you're failing or you recently failed at it, if you think you failed at it, I'm going to convince you why you actually can win because of that. Sounds good? Well, I'm going to explain. Um, I talk a lot about feeling happy, healthy, wealthy, being happy, healthy, wealthy in my videos if you haven't seen any of those. So this is kind of along the same lines. But you can't win them all. So um, how do you come off of a failure and turn it into your next winning streak? If you know how to do this, wouldn't it make your life a lot easier? So that's basically what I spend all my time studying. Right now, I'm reading. I've been talking about in my live videos recently the book, The Secret of the Ages, and this principle can be found in so many different books. So I didn't make it up. This is information that is omnipresent. All the information in the universe is available everywhere. And that might sound, well, it might sound actually these days with the internet and satellites and cell phones. I'm streaming right now. I'm streaming worldwide from a handheld phone. And actually, this phone isn't even that nice. The other phone I usually stream with is better, but with just a really, you could have a $20 phone and be omnipresent around the world. So information is everywhere. We just have to tap into it. So what do you want to, if you've been failing or if you recently failed, don't beat yourself up about it. You have to forgive yourself at some point, or you're just going to be caught in a negative mental loop. The worst thing in my experience, I'm just talking from my experience, by the way, so this might not apply to you, but you might hopefully you find value in it. So for me, it's in the morning is really important because you need to cultivate this winning attitude early before you do anything, because you might snap into a good attitude later in the day and then wish that you wouldn't have just messed up all the things that you worked on that day. Hi John, how's it going? Great, a good timing for a video. So this if you're just tuning in is all about if you have failed and you're stuck in this failure mindset. Everyone's got to be there at one point or another, but how do you get out of it and how do you turn it into a huge win? It sounds really too good to be true or easier said than done, but I think otherwise. This is all about, and I talk about this in my videos all the time, it's all about your vibration. And I think we can't talk about that enough. it's not talked about in society. So someone like me makes a video about it and it might sound a little weird or um, I used to not understand this. So I'm thinking about when I didn't get it and I'm trying to put myself back to that to explain it well so that I can be clear right to the point. But I totally didn't understand this for most of my life. That's why I'm making the videos, because if I didn't understand it, then probably other people didn't. But like I said, the information is omnipresent. So you winning is happening right now in the fifth dimension. You just have to tap into that. And that if that sounds like a fairy tale or wishful thinking, you have to understand how visualization brings, actually creates. Imagination is so powerful. I'm only just beginning to understand how powerful my imagination is. If I would have known this, it was really powerful when I was a child. And then we get poisoned with foods that our body can't efficiently eliminate. And what happens over time is our um, body systems get bogged down, whether it's with cholesterol, which I think I actually learned about that it's actually good for you, or it doesn't exist or something. I mean, most of the information we're getting growing up is absolutely false. I'm sorry to be the one. I don't. On one hand, I like to be the one to wake you up to that, but on the other hand, I don't like that. I don't want to make people feel stupid. And like I just said, I didn't always understand how to do this. So, um, the vibration stuff sounds ridiculous to someone that doesn't get it. Because, oh, you can, like, I remember one of my early videos, I had someone commented negatively and then they deleted it, but I had already read it and I was talking about your bills and I was saying you're thinking about bills and more bills are going to come, and they were so angry. They were like, "Oh, so I can just stop thinking about, I don't know." They were upset almost about, I could tell through their language that they didn't understand it and that it was offensive somehow. So if you don't understand the vibration, why, what it is and why it's important, it's everything. All of matter is just different speeds of vibration, and all of music and all of sound and all of sight, all of your visual spectrum is just, each color is just a different vibration. So it it's a fact. Once you understand it a little bit, I mean, you don't have to completely understand it. Just know that it's vibration is more than just music and sound. Your feeling is important and dictates how your actions um, how your actions manifest, or how your thoughts manifest. And then once you understand that, now that I have manifested several major goals, the first few times I didn't know what I was doing. I was having a huge success and then having a giant blunder, or years of a like a really successful period and then a really bad period, and then on and off, on and off. And it's like the winds of chance, and that's nobody wants that. That's awful. That's the opposite of what we want. We want to be able to encourage the end result to be what we want. So since I have some clues from my past achievements, if you like, I made a goal and I achieved it, or I did something amazing that I surprised myself. That's kind of what I consider a win. Or sometimes it's winning an actual award. Sometimes it's obviously a win. It's easy to measure, like this is some award for something a long time ago, but I just hung it up in here to you should remember all of your past wins. That's one way to get into the vibration. So there's many ways. We talked about in prior videos, music. Music is vibration. So if you play a song, it's going to be the same vibration every time. You can count on it. So if one song makes you feel amazing and confident, use that when at a time where you need confidence. Make this a systematic approach. Don't let your life blow around in the wind of chance, because other people will mess with you, and companies will just look at you as a number and try to harvest your your possessions or time. But if you are focusing on your win, then stuff just bounces off of you and deflects off of you, and nothing can stop you. It's a mental thing. It's not anything else. So if you're heading into a competition, imagine every single win. Listen to your favorite song that makes you feel amazing. And this goes so far. This goes so deep. I heard a quote by someone the other day. And spending I'm not quoting it. This is just a general concept. Spending an hour or two or three getting in the vibration, or aligning your vibration with your goal, which can be done by visualizing, is part of it, is worth so many hours of work. So it's not about sitting around and meditating. The Secret of the Ages, the last page I was reading, he said, you don't go away into a closet to sit in silence. That's selfish. So we're not just meditating all the time. We need to reach out. So, but his point was not to just sit around getting in the vibration, is to give. So right now I'm trying to connect. I'm making this live video, and I can connect anywhere in the planet at the same time with a cheap smartphone. This is one of the many phones I have, and I can just pick one up and go live. It's amazing. So think about the other amazing things like that. The power of the power that makes you digest, the power that makes you think and live and digest, and all of your body functions, your heart beating, all of that power, the same power that makes the trees grow and the sun and the earth rotate and the solar system and everything that we can barely comprehend, the same power that does all of that can be at work instantly for you. And you can do it every time. You don't have to sit out and lose. You don't have to fail. But just if you're stepping off of a failure, don't beat yourself up on it, because you can harvest all that information later with your amazing memory. Right now, you might feel bad about it, but use it to, don't focus on it. Um, don't focus on the potholes. Just see them to go around them, and that's it. If you focus on them, excuse me, it will ruin your drive, ruin your day, ruin your tires, ruin your axles. One time I hit a pothole and it bent my whole rim. It was like the day before I moved to Korea, actually. And that was definitely something mental going on, because I'm usually an amazing driver. So if you get distracted, you can fail. It happens. Just learn what happened. If it's not related to your goal, then maybe you shouldn't have been doing it anyway. Maybe you're doing things that you're not good at just to go through the motions of what you think the world or society or family wants you to do, or should. Those shoulds, should that. Personally, none of the shoulds are even relevant. A lot of the things I was taught are absolutely wrong. Sure, I'm thankful for the good things, but you have to go back and rewrite your core beliefs. And then once you believe that there's this unlimited power making the solar system rotate or move, that's the same idea that you need to be in motion. Like, not just busy for the sake of busy, but align yourself with your objective, and then either it should be attracting to you. It doesn't mean you have to. I think there's a misconception about taking action. There's a lot of motivation videos of people screaming about just do it with Shia LaBeouf, or however you even pronounce his name. I like that video a lot, so I'm not making fun of it, but the vibration is just as important or more than the doing it. Because you're doing, for me, I don't have to ever worry about doing. So other people need to feel motivated. I think it's a misconception. So if you're not motivated, you're just not interested in what you're doing. So if you're going to fail at it. Wake up call. I've tried doing things that I'm not good at. You should always be trying to expand and step out of your comfort zone. So I've been brainwashed. When I was doing network marketing, I heard that a lot, to step out of the comfort zone. But at some point, I took it way too far, maybe, and maybe not. But your goal should be out of your comfort zone, but you shouldn't just be miserable. Does that make sense? You shouldn't be masochistic about it. Like, go after, maybe if it's totally related to what you're sure that you want, then but it's out of your comfort zone. I don't know. I don't know about the whole comfort zone thing that I've been brainwashed about it. Now I just know because I've achieved the objective many times since our body, since our human being is a cybernetic mechanism, which means it's a goal seeking mechanism. We're a goal seeking organism. So you have to have a goal. As if you believe that, then you have to have a goal or you're not even being a human, I guess. So that might be part of why you're failing. Because if I can go back to certain times I failed, I got distracted by something that, but you have to fail a certain amount of times to know how to do it. The way that Maxwell Maltz describes cybernetics in his book Psycho-Cybernetics is about a rocket. The rocket has a cybernetic mechanism where there's a little rudder, or maybe little rudders on the sides, and if it's going toward the target, nothing happens. But if it gets off course, then it needs to come back. If it gets off course, then it comes back, and that's autopilot. Every time it gets off, the cybernetics bring it back because it's programmed, literally, to get to a certain target. And we are like that. We are like that. Over time, like a baby's hand reaching for something is like that rocket. And it maybe there's something sitting on a table and the baby reaches out and its hand swings back and forth and finally they get it. And then over time, it happens more and more times, and then you just reach it and grab it. You just reach it and grab it. And reach it and grab it. You don't even think about it. But there's so many muscles involved. There's so many little, you don't have to think about the muscles up here. There might even be muscles in my neck to reaching out. Maybe not, I don't feel it, but it's not just my fingers, it's not just my hand, it's not just my forearm, it's not just my upper arm, it's not just my shoulder, parts of my back are moving. You don't think about any of that, you just reach. So that's what you want to do about all your goals. You want to program the win. So think about your past win right before you're about to take the action. Get into the zone, and then whatever you do, that's kind of how I feel. I feel that the vibration's more important than the action because I take a lot of action already. I have so many, I produce nonstop. I'm very productive, but it doesn't always end up what I want. Before. More and more now that I know what's going on, now I know why I succeeded that time and not that time. It's because of my vibration and my which okay, so it's your vibration. So what? That's hard to that took some understanding for me, but I don't think it has to be hard to understand. Um, when you're in the right vibration, you know. And when you're really in the higher vibration, you know anything or everything. It's like there's like a never-ending limit of connected vibrations, and you can really uh, you can really turn your mind on to the exact thing you want. That's what it's all about. Is totally, totally um, losing yourself in this depth of your mind that is the sky is the limit. It's like inner outer space. It's inner. You can go in and find all the answers. You can go in and visualize all of your whatever you could possibly desire next. So go back if you've never won at anything, if you've never won anything in your life, you gotta start small and take little evidence of a win. And maybe it's just listen to your favorite song nonstop and feel you've got to have felt happy at some point. And um, or the image of something, maybe your favorite movie or your favorite food. Well, a lot of people's favorite food is killing them, but you can get into a higher vibration on drugs and alcohol. That's why that's Americans go to is but if your goal is to live long, then it's fine unless your goal is to be healthy. So I assume you want to be healthy just because that's what this channel's about. But there are healthy ways to there are healthy ways to raise your vibration. Napoleon Hill talks about them in Think and Grow Rich. And then when you're in that zone, you just can implant everything to your subconscious mind that you can visualize, but you have to be careful. You don't think about it as a want and a, ooh, what if, or oh, I wish. Then you're ruining it. You're going the opposite direction. You have to it's like it's joy, it's glorified bliss. And then when you can get into that, then feed yourself those visual images. Have a mastermind partner, because that is one of the major things that can raise your vibration. So if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, the mastermind is, I think, chapter 14. I don't know if that's just popping into my mind. I don't know if it's true, but one of the ways, there are different ways to raise your vibration that Napoleon Hill studied over 500 of the wealthiest people in the world. And that's a lot of research. So that's why I read that book 13 times, is because, yes, a mastermind partner. We're actually, since we're live, we're masterminding right now. I should do live mastermind sessions. I won't do it this time since we're approaching 30 minutes already, but that's really what I do. That's really, if I had to say I have a job, yeah, it is very cool. If I had to say I have a job, that's like, or what my line of work would be, it's masterminding. Because according to Napoleon Hill, out of the 500 most successful people, that is what made it for them. So that's, if that's the most important, valuable thing I could be doing, then that's what, it's a no-brainer then. If I think that and believe that, then I mean I keep reading that book to reprogram myself with on purpose, not just what I was raised accidentally with other people's ideas, which some of them were okay, but I want it like I want it because that's the whole secret of the ages is to visualize it and then bring it, the thought brings it into physical form. And then when you mastermind with someone else, there's not just you and them. There's another um, power there as well. There's a third entity, which is what Napoleon Hill takes a long time to lead up to that. And he ends up talking about Dr. J.B. Rhine, which has also been quoted in a lot of so many of books that I've been reading. Um, he was one of the people that's studying the brain, and they discovered that telepathy is real, and they proved that you can, that there's another, he called it the sixth sense, but we definitely have another power. It's electricity, because that's what all the other senses are. But what, it's pretty sure that the pineal gland is an actual sensory organ, and I've been curious about the hair follicles all over our body that are in tune, like antennae, to pick up vibration. Duh. So I've been manifesting some amazing things these days. I wish the same for you. I I will have more success stories of different evidences, but I don't want to talk about them like until they are physical, and then I can show it, because I have plenty already of evidence in the past. So for me, once I actually see it and feel it and believe it, something clicks, and it's a really good thing. So um, I believe it. Now, the doubt just, I mean, I was doubting every new goal you're going to have new doubts if it's your habit to doubt. But once you keep achieving, that's why you have to keep setting goals, because once you keep achieving them, it just makes it easier and easier. The hard work is gone. All the work is getting into a mental state and visualizing it. And then you're gonna have to physically do something, but like I feel like that's just follow through. I'm just a really active person, so I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think once you get into that zone, and you get locked into it, then you naturally just go and do it. You don't have to like force yourself to win. You cultivate the winning feeling and then it comes out. Then whatever you do is a win. If you're hanging out with people that are reminding you of your failures, then you gotta exit, because sometimes that's the problem, is that you're in somewhere that, of course, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Ultimately, you can go inward and get it and win and find the either whether it's peace or whether it's harmony or money or whatever it is at the moment that you're going after. Everyone's at a different phase going for something else, but whatever your focus is that you want to, the best possible thing you could achieve, um, if you don't believe it, like that you're laughing about how sure you are about it and excited you are about it, then you don't believe it yet. So get into that. Get the way to cultivate a new belief, because it was just your old beliefs just got brainwashed into you before you had a chance to question. Now, how do you believe something on purpose, a new belief? Most people never formulate a new belief after a certain age. So this might be new to a lot of people. How do you believe something new? Most people never do. They just stick to their stubborn old beliefs and then nothing, and then they think that they're going to get a new goal. Fail. That's not going to work. I'm sure of what doesn't work. Maybe I'll make another video just about how not to succeed, because that's kind of a different state of mind though than this video. But this is just block out that. Sometimes you need to come to grips with you messed up, or like you have to know when to walk away. It's not about, it's hard when you beat yourself up about it, because then you sometimes you hang on way longer and you end up going down with the ship. Sometimes it's smart to bail. It doesn't make you a quitter if it's not your goal. If you're doing something that's not your goal, quit. A lot of times the hard work is quitting the nonsense that you're doing that's interrupting you. Because maybe you don't have time to just sit down and think about or like you need to get away and focus on your winning experiences and get that. You have to do that. You have to imagine it. Even if you're failing at everything now, you have to imagine that you're winning, and like eventually the first couple times you might not believe it. You might just think I'm an idiot for making this video, or it sounds nice, but what if? But like eventually the goal card that I've got mine. Do you have yours? Um, Even though I barely leave the house these days, I still have my goal card in my pocket because I reach in there. Even though I'm not even in a bad mood these days, I still have it in there just because, yeah, I'm gonna actually, um, yes, the goal card. Make a new one if you lost yours, if you're watching this. If you haven't seen my other videos about a goal card, go watch those and make one, because it's cheap and free. It's totally free. All it requires is you to be a human being and speak any language. And if you can't write, get a picture of your goal and make a card. but you have to believe it. Once you believe it, you're unstoppable. Once you believe it, that, oh man, that's what these videos are all about. Once you believe it deep down, it's like it's something awesome happens. And little evidences start rolling in that let you know for sure right away that it is working. And then you just, like, that was the hard work. You have to understand that once you imagined it and believed it deep down, if you don't believe it yet, then you have to like keep listening to your favorite song, read your goal. Maybe you reword your goal, because maybe if it says I want blah blah blah, no, don't want it, because then you'll think about wanting. You got to think about grateful. You've got to be already grateful that you have it. It's such a weird, it sounds so weird until you get it. But once you're grateful and you didn't even get it yet, you're unstoppable about that particular thing. And then for a new goal, it's the same principle, but you have to do it again. You have to do that same like attitude, or you have to cultivate that same belief again. Just because you won at something doesn't mean it's going to happen again. But it is easier to win when you just won. It is easier to win when you just won something, because you're already believing it. Of course. So if you have some trophies, put them up all around when you're trying to get whatever your goal is. Or like, doesn't mean have a bunch of people that just say yes to everything around you, but you do need to know the reality of the situation. But you can create the reality in the future, and then it just happens. So don't like don't get stuck in the reality of what's your present situation. Get stuck in the feeling of gratitude of already having achieved whatever it is. All right, so I try to explain it in a lot of different ways throughout the video, just to the same point, just so that hopefully it clicks in there. And maybe it'll click tonight when you're asleep. Maybe it clicked during the video. If you got value from this, like it, comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. And remember to have an amazing day on purpose, because it's not just going to happen. It's not just going to happen accidentally. You're gonna do it when you're in that vibration, and when you get that unstoppable feeling first, then you will win. So don't wait for the evidence to win that you won and then do it. Cultivate that, whatever the cost. And good luck. If you have any more questions or any more topics that you want me to do videos on, comment below, and I will see you next time. Peace.